Hey.
Let me ask you something. Yo, real talk. Where you at when the storm rollin'? That's the question, where you at?
See, I've been watching how the people move when the world gets heavy and they gotta choose. Some fold in words, some lash out with fast. Some bow their heads and some just walk on past. I seen the headlines, I seen the comments too. The celebration in the place of pain. Now who raised you? Cause how you react when somebody falls, that ain't politics, baby, that reveals it all. It's like a mirror that you can't turn off. The soul don't lie, even when the mind does scoff. Life is sacred, that ain't left or right. That's the oldest law, written long before the mic. So when you shrug at pain, or worse you clap, I gotta ask you, love, where you at?
Ooh,
Where you at?
where you at when the tests come through?
Yeah, where you at?
Ooh,
Where you at?
where you at when the tests come through?
Yeah, where you at? Where you at?
Where you at when the tests come through?
Yeah, where you at?
Ooh,
Where you at?
where you at when the tests come through?
Alright, let me break it down with no confusion. Life is sacred, that ain't up for no discussion. You disagree with somebody, cool, debate them. But the moment you rejoice at home, you've lost the equation. I don't care what side you rep or what you believe. Celebrating somebody's murder? Nah, that ain't for me. That's not freedom, homie, that is chaos dressed up clean. Calling evil good and calling good evil, know what I mean? Isaiah said it, so did common sense. When you lose your moral anchor, everything is dense. You start believing lies that hate can't negotiate. That force is fine and darkness wins, that's a sorry mental state. So before you bang a comment or you cast a stone, check your compass first, is it pointing home? Where you at? Where you at? Where you at when the tests come through? Does your response look like the real you? Faith will sharpen what confusion blurs. Check your mirror before the verdict occurs. Where you at? 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 Now let me get personal for just a moment here. I know a man who walked through something most will fear. Built his whole life being active, able, strong. Then a neurological storm came and changed the song. Couldn't move the way he used to, culture shock. The body slow but couldn't make the spirit stop. He said without God he knows his mind would've crumbled down. Instead he's standing while he's reaching, still holding his crown. That testimony right there hits different to me. Cause circumstances gonna test you eventually. Pretty or ugly, rich or broke, young or grown. The one true constant is how close you are to home. So I say chart it, literally, write it down, journal your connection, grade it, watch the pattern crown. You'll be amazed at hindsight's clarity when you weren't seeking God. Check your proximity, where you at? Yo, I'm saying this with love, but I'ma say it straight. Without a moral anchor, you are at the mercy of fate. Not just physical fate, I mean the mental weight. The spiritual confusion when your life starts to break, and it will break, that's not a threat, that's the truth. Ain't nobody skipping hardship, not the elder or the youth. But here's the difference between who survives it whole and who gets swallowed by it. It's the grounding of the soul. When you see tragedy and your first move is to grieve, that's alignment, that's the signal, that's a heart that believes. When your first move is to mock or justify the wrong, that's the distance, that's the signal, check where you belong. I ain't pointing fingers, I've been off the path before, but hindsight showed me anguish when I wasn't knocking on that door. So I'm just asking, and the question's sincere, where you at? And are you glad to be there? Where you at when the tests come through? Does your response look like the real you? Faith will sharpen what confusion blurred. Check your mirror before the verdict occurs. Where you at? 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 See, faith ain't just a church on Sunday morning. It's the clarity you carry without warning. It's the line between the light and all the static, between seeing things as sacred or as automatic. It's choosing life when the scripture lays it plain. Deuteronomy said choose it, say it again. Choose life, not for convenience or for spin. For your children and the world they're living in. So when the hard times come, and baby they will come, yeah. Don't be caught with borrowed carcass. Don't dish what you don't dish it, you know. She gave me a mic on first like call us out the low. When no fess, Annie, where you at?